I suggested bringing my stepdaughter to therapy, and everyone got furious at me.
What's wrong with therapy?
I hope my title made some sense, but if not, I will try to explain. 8 years ago, I, 33 female now, met a young widower, 35 male now, who had a 6-year-old daughter, 14 female now. He and his late wife had technically been separated at the time of her passing, so he was ready to move on. However, I believed his daughter needed help, and a few times before we got married, I said as much. By the way, this comes from Katiro. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I was told she was just more reserved by nature and that she would come around to me in time. This was not just my husband saying this. His whole family said the same thing. They told me the proof was in the fact that she was not being blatantly rude or disrespectful and was not throwing tantrums or acting out. I tried to build a good relationship with my stepdaughter, but the more time went on, the less it seemed likely or possible. She was not outright angry, but she would not open up to me or willingly spend any one-on-one time with me. She did spend one-on-one time with her dad, but at a certain point, when he and I had our first child, this also changed. Once I was pregnant with our first child, her behavior did change. She started getting angry, started cursing at me, and yelling at her dad for having another baby. She told him he betrayed her mom and that she was not going to accept our child as a sibling or accept him being a dad to someone else's baby. Therapy. So much therapy.
So much therapy.
Therapy is bad.
No, Keon.
No, that's what they're.
That's what they're.
That's what they're saying.
After I gave birth, my husband told me he put my stepdaughter in therapy and said he realized help was needed. But when I was pregnant with our second child, I found out this was not really true. Why are you even telling your wife this then?
It's just a weird thing to lie about.
Why? You could just be like, you know what? I don't think she should go in there.
And you guys can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Like normal people.
Yeah. Instead, he took her to classes that were supposed to prepare kids for being an older sibling and were meant to help get them excited for a younger sibling. That seems like bad. Seems like what she does not need.
It seems like the opposite.
Yeah, they're like, don't you want to be an older sibling? Isn't it great? And she's like, no, I freaking hate this kid.
I hate him so much.
This went on for months before I realized it, and he argued at the time that it was a form of therapy. I started
immersion therapy.
Yeah.
Done poorly.
I started speaking up more about my stepdaughter needing therapy, and it was at that point that my husband and his family started acting like I was some monster. They asked me why I keep trying to force the issue and why I could not accept her the way she was. While all this was going on, I never left her alone around the kids. She was also moving things and hiding things from me whenever she was home. She moved and hid the baby bottles, my phone charger, diapers, my phone, and many other things, even food. She would say in front of the whole family that she hated the kids and wished they had never been born. They were shocked and did not know what to say to me. When I said she needed therapy, they said they felt like I was saying there was something wrong with her or calling her a monster. That's not at all what OP said. She said, hey, this kid needs help. And they said, you're calling her a monster.
You want her to get therapy, you monster.
You're saying she's crazy. Witch. I told my husband that actual therapy was needed or I would be done. He told me I needed to trust him. Like when he lied about the therapy, that's who we're supposed to trust? Okay. As he is her parent and knows her better than I do. Well, clearly knowing her better hasn't really helped her at all, so. Thanksgiving was my final straw. She told several of her cousins that she was going to break all her siblings' toys and that she was going to make sure they were so messed up from this Christmas because she hated them and wanted them to pay. I was not the only person who heard this. I insisted that this was exactly why therapy was needed because she was bragging about wanting to upset her siblings. Yet again, I was the monster. Even my husband refused to accept that she needed help. I was so tired of being the monster because I believed my stepdaughter needed therapy, and a lot of therapy at this point. That night, I slept on the couch. The next morning, I told my husband I was done. I waited until the next day because I asked my parents if the kids and I could stay, and they did not get back to me until very late. My husband was not expecting me to say it was over, but I told him I was done, and I explained why.
Wow.
By the way, I'm going to explain that you guys can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I feel like OP tried for a really long
Yeah.
time, and it's totally valid to be like, and now I'm going to remove my kids from this situation.
Yeah, potentially dangerous or just potentially
Just like
bad situation.
mean person
Yeah.
who needs help.
And it's not even, really about the stepdaughter. It is, but a lot of it is your partner doesn't listen to you.
Yeah, and
Doesn't
doesn't care to
trust you.
help his child.
No. I have already filed for divorce, and to my husband, soon to be ex, and his parents, that is the worst thing. They keep making a point about me leaving before Christmas and about how we never even tried therapy with my husband. So
it's bad when OP wants to ruin, I put in quotes,
Mhm.
Christmas.
by
But
bringing
when
up therapy.
daughter says,
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I completely ruin everybody's Christmas, that's not a problem.
Oh, see, the crazy thing to me was that they're suggesting therapy for OP
Oh,
and her
yeah,
husband.
that's funny as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
Some
I'd be like,
double
oh
funny.
my God,
They got
are you
really
saying that we're
funny.
crazy? Are you saying that we're monsters?
And you twitch a little.
Christmas and not going to therapy have been sticking points for them, but I would not go with him after everything. He already lied to me once. He and his family have been calling me a monster. His daughter is giddy about terrorizing our children, which he has zero issue with. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments. But what do you say? No. No. Absolutely not. Get
Can we
your
say
kids
no
out of there.
again, just to make it really clear. No.
No. I thought we were going to harmonize.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
Wait. We went the same note. It's fine. Comment 1. So you guys needed to try therapy, but your stepdaughter didn't? Make that make sense. That's what I was thinking. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Comment 2 says, not the a-hole. You should have left long ago. But good, you are finally getting out. The only monsters in this are your husband and his stupid family. They are so in denial, it is pathetic and to the detriment of your stepdaughter, who is becoming a monster, all thanks to them, not you. I would never, ever allow your children to be alone with him because he is in denial and because she will potentially harm and mistreat your children. He needs supervised visits. OP says, supervised visits are not that easy to make happen. I have some proof of all the things that have happened, but in all honesty, there likely will not only be supervised contact, but 50-50 custody is most likely the outcome. I honestly should never have married him. I should have trusted my own gut and should never have listened to what my husband and his family said. And I learned a very valuable lesson about trusting my instincts and not blindly believing everything will turn out okay. And reply, find out if you can obtain lawyers for your children who strive for the best interests of each child, each of the 3. The government may fund such lawyers and advocate for supervised visits in the best interests of each child. Comment 3 says, not the a-hole. You owe your children a safe place to grow up. That is not here. They need at least one safe space with that dumb butt as a father. He had 8 years of consistently warning him and telling him your concerns, and now he's ready to fix it. He won't fix it. He'll make it look like he is and then do the same crap. And because you proved you're willing to come back despite everything, crap will ramp up. Save yourself fun. You're an amazing mom. How you have advocated for this child who despises you is amazing.
Yeah.
Save that amazing momness for your littles. Opie says, it's not. But unfortunately, they will still end up spending time with my husband and his daughter. Most likely 50% of the time. It stresses me out knowing that she feels the way she does and I won't be there. But I know staying would only lead to an even more unhappy and toxic household because I can't deal with it anymore. Not only do I not trust my husband, but I don't believe for a second he will ever truly follow through. He'll just continue to act like I'm the bad guy for feeling like his daughter needs a lot of help. And that is the end of that story.
Wow. Yeah.
Can't do much to convince this guy.
Yeah.
if you can't see it before.
Unfortunate. I refuse to host my ex for Christmas along with his other children.
You're all getting cold.
My ex-husband and I have been divorced for just over 5 years now. Our divorce was extremely difficult for me and our kids, who are currently aged 11 and 9, because we did not part on good terms. By the way, this comes from Carrie's. And if you want to send me your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, at the time I asked for a divorce. I had just learned that he had been cheating on me for several years.
Several years?
And was being DNA tested for 6 potential children.
That's too many children.
That he may have fathered during our marriage.
What? How are they only potential? That's crazy.
How are they only
You can't have
potential?
6 potential children. You get 1 potential child. You get maybe 2.
One
But
is too
Sophia,
many.
a child's potential is limitless.
No, all the
Come
other
on,
children don't
Sophia.
have potential.
You're limiting these children.
They're going to end up
At
working
what?
at traffic court.
That is the worst job you could
Yeah.
have picked.
That's where they're going. No potential.
My ex-husband ran through every excuse for what he did and attempted numerous times to convince me to stay. But I was not having it. I called time on our marriage as soon as I knew what he had been doing. 5 of the 6 potential kids turned out to be his.
Dang! 5 out of 6?
And he attempted to involve me in discussions with their mothers. I told him none of that had anything to do with me. I have never spoken to those women, and I have never spoken to those children either. But that was not it when it came to all of his children. It turned out he already knew about 2 other children who were biologically his and were born during our marriage.
Got 8 other kids?
7.
7? I thought we were at 6 plus 2.
Only 5 of the 6 were biologically
Right, you're
his.
so right. I forgot about that. We're at 7 kids.
Almost 8.
From like different women.
Yeah.
That's too many.
They ended up living with him a year after our divorce, and their mother does not appear to be around. He has had 5 other children on top of that,
What?
and 2 of them also live with him full time. The other kids, I do not know if he sees them or not. I just know they exist. He sees our children 1 weekend a month.
Oh my
and
god, he also has your kids. How many kids do they have?
I don't even know anymore.
How many kids do they
I
have?
think
You
it
got
was
that many
approximately
kids?
15 kids for him.
You got to run a
15
farm. You got that many
kids?
kids.
15
There's somewhere
kids?
between the 12 to 15 range of kids, I think.
Oh my god.
And he is not very involved. The only thing he will do is call and try to make plans for us to spend time together as a family. And I always shut him down and remind him that we are no longer a family. He never wants to speak to or see the kids, though. He is always trying to involve me in that. Despite the bad blood between us, I remained on reasonably good terms with his parents, and they see the kids. My kids love their grandparents, but now we are having issues because they feel it would be better for the kids if both sides came together for Christmas.
Both sides of what? The hexagon? The freaking hexagon that is his his family of children?
Yeah. And for me to host my ex-husband
No.
and his children,
Nope.
whichever children he has on the day, and for us to function as a family who are there for each other.
Immediate no.
I told him
Immediate no.
that was not happening, and that I was not pretending he or those other kids of his are my family. They told me I should not hold so much spite for him and the kids, and that as a mother, I should want my kids to know their siblings, whether full or half. They even offered to buy the turkey for us as a sign of helping to make it work. I still said no. They wanted more reasons, and I told them I did not have to give any reason and that my answer was still the same. In truth, this whole idea is awful, in my opinion. I hate my ex, and spending the entire day with him in front of our kids could unfairly burden them with my feelings. They do not need to see any of the issues between us. Having him and his kids over would also mean buying presents for his kids, which is not something I want to start adding to my plate. I have nothing to do with those kids. But by the way, you can have everything to do with us by listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. Just a little bit left. Can you imagine? What if he had every other kid that day?
He's got all 15.
Yeah.
Or 12, I guess.
It's 12. It's a dodecagon.
12 including.
Or
12
dodecahedron.
Is
including
12
OP's
including
kids?
OP's kids?
No,
So it's like 14.
but he doesn't get those kids.
No, but they'll
They're
be
his
at her
kids.
house.
We're not letting him at those.
But when
Ugh.
when they all come to her house, they'll be there.
They'll all be there. They're all going to
14
be there.
kids, the ex-in-laws and the ex-husband.
Oh, boy.
I don't think all the kids will be there.
Well, he
I
doesn't
just think
have
he has-
contact with
I
all
was
the
just
kids.
saying,
Yeah,
what if
yeah.
he had every single
Yeah,
one?
Yeah,
it would
worst
be.
case
It would be
scenario.
14.
Yeah.
14 kids
Yeah.
show up.
Merry
Dang.
Christmas.
Yeah, no, hold
Dress them
your
all
ground.
like elves.
Mm-hmm. And then make them work for you.
Not to mention, the ones he has all the time have no relationship with their mothers, and any chance that he could lie to them and say, I am going to be their new mom, is something I want to prevent. He already tries to make us a family, so that is a concern of mine. I could never be motherly or even have a familial relationship with his other children. That is never going to happen. Does my refusal to do this make me the a-hole? I am asking because I know we always say to put the kids first, and I believe this is the way to do it, so they do not see or hear any of the troubles between me and their dad. I believe this is the best way to not get their hopes up, if they have any, for us to be a family again. We have some comments, but no.
No.
Ugh.
No. I think you got to distance even more.
Yeah.
We got to be like, no, I don't want any interaction with your children, your brood. Do we have a legal kind of custody agreement?
OP has them for all except for one weekend.
Okay, yeah.
And it sounds as though dad may still just come to them.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
Or we collect all of them. All 14.
Take 'em
basketball
home.
team.
You're right. You're right
Plus
about that.
some. Comment 1. If the father or grandparents want to have the family of the kids together at Christmas, it should be arranged and hosted by them, not one of the mothers. OP says, that's a very good idea. The reason they won't is it goes against the overall wish to turn me into a family member to him again and to his other children. Someone replies, this is exactly the agenda. He and his parents see a mental movie in which your house is fragrant with the smell of the feast you cooked for all of them. Holiday tunes playing softly, the kids all playing happily. Then, after everyone is full, but before you clean up the tornado all on your own, of course, he turns to you and says, isn't this cozy? Doesn't it just feel meant to be? He takes you in his arms. You both gaze lovingly at the brood he's sired, and boom, he's got a maid and a mother figure who can raise them all for him. It's nauseating, isn't it? Comment 2.
Dang, that comment really painted a picture.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Not the a-hole. Good grief. Okay, Charlie Brown.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Your former in-laws appear delusional. They just want you to host Christmas and run after the kids. If I'm counting right, he has 14 kids in total?
Yes.
I do hope their Christmas present to him this year is a vasectomy. OP
Truly, someone said in the chat, what's his child support like or something? Excellent question.
Excellent.
How is he funding child support for 14 kids?
Well, I think around 5 of them are just his full time because mom's not in the picture.
Dang. So he's funding. Okay, so he's supporting the lives of 5 kids full time, and then
2 part time,
2 part time.
and I guess the rest also part time.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We don't know that custody agreement. but-
Dude, that's insane. Like having enough money to support 2 kids
What's crazy
is expensive.
is the fact that he has 7 different custody agreements.
That's so crazy.
OP says 14 that I know about. That's an important distinction because he could have others I don't yet know about or that he doesn't know about. Comment 3, not the a-hole. They're living in a dream if they think any of this is okay. I wouldn't blame you if you never spoke to him again. OP said, I only speak to him when it's required for our kids. Mostly that's not even directly talking, but messaging through an app to help us co-parent better. That's the end of that.
My wife exposed her sister's affair, so I left her.
Get out of there.
So 2 weeks ago, my wife, 28 female, exposed her sister's 30 female cheating to everyone, which resulted in her husband leaving her and filing they fought a lot like never before. By the way, this comes from Diligent Head 1932. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, they were always very kind to each other. understanding, and very close, but nobody expected them to fight like this. My sister-in-law kissed a man in a bar when she was out with my wife and their friends. My wife pulled her aside because she had too much and ended up spilling the beans. She also clicked a photo. It was a huge fight between her family, and mine got dragged in as well. Some were on her side, and some were on my wife's. A week later, my sister-in-law ended up telling me that my wife used to be a witch during high school and college days. She called me and said my wife used to sleep around so much that she didn't even know how many men she had been with. I asked her if my wife had ever cheated, and she said no. I trusted her because I'm close with my sister-in-law, and she wouldn't lie to me. I asked her if she had proof. And she said no, but she could get in contact with her old friends and my wife's old friends or boyfriends. She said she was sure many might have my wife's exposed photos and could ask for them if I wanted, immediately blocking the wife's sister.
So weird.
Disgusting.
That's so weird.
Like, point one, really none of your business what your wife's
Right.
relationships
was
were before you.
Pre-you.
It's pre-you.
This did not overlap with you in any way. There was no infidelity.
Also, if any of those guys actually sent those photos to you, that's kind of illegal
Weird.
and really gross. And it's really gross
Weird.
that
I
your
feel like
wife's
they probably
sisters.
shared a phone plan, and she probably got him that way.
I politely declined, saying it would just traumatize me. What do you mean it would?
Don't tell her that.
What is going on? I begged her not to tell anyone else about this. About what? Literally about what? Genuinely about
Having
what?
relationships before you. Oh,
Please don't tell anyone that my wife had a boyfriend before me.
no.
Please don't tell anyone.
Crazy.
And also, like,
I feel like he already knew.
yeah,
That she probably dated other people.
presumably you knew that she dated other people. And also, I'm sorry, the sister coming to you and saying, well, I don't even know how many men she slept with. I would hope not.
That'd be weird.
That'd be kind of weird. I mean, like, some sisters, it's not abnormal for, I feel like, sisters to know.
But it's weird to want to tell it that fast.
But I don't think you got to keep track of all of them.
She's got a notebook.
She got to know. She's like, I lost count. I couldn't
stopped
keep up.
telling me after she realized I had a notebook about it.
God. I said I would literally pass away of shame if my friends or colleagues found out. You suck, OP. All we know is that OP's wife used to sleep around so much that OP's wife's sister didn't even know how many men she had been with. That's all we know. And OP's ashamed of that?
Weird.
It's none of your business.
Weird.
I asked her to just do me a favor for my sake, and she thankfully agreed. I went to my wife and told her everything and asked if it was true. She got angry and instead of replying to me, called her sister. There was an hour-long screaming match between them. Instead of focusing on me, she wanted to fight her sister. So I went to the kitchen and got a bottle. They were at each other's throats, blaming each other for ruining each other's lives, and who knows what else. I feared that if they weren't on the call, they would have thrown hands. By the time my wife ended her call with her sister, I was wasted and overthinking. My wife came to talk to me, and the first thing I said was that if she was done fighting with her sister, maybe she could finally focus on her husband. She asked what I meant, and I said that instead of talking to me and answering me, she went on a verbal brawl with her sister when I was in so much pain. I just found out that I'm not the only man you've been with. Why aren't you focusing on me? Shut up.
This
I don't
is
like OP.
actually getting you OP. This is working on you.
Literally, this is your sister-in-law's plan. To a T, this is your
You're
sister-in-law's plan, and you're falling for it.
Weak-minded individual.
My wife grabbed my hand and said she was sorry. She said the topic never came up between us, so she didn't tell me. She wanted to hide and forget about her past. I asked if it was true, and my wife said it was. Why are you freaking shaming your wife?
cares?
I asked
Good
if
for
she had ever
her.
cheated on me to cross-check what my sister-in-law said. My wife said she would never and has never been with another man since she met me 5 years ago. So literally nothing else matters. Literally
I need you to grow up.
none of her history, relationship history, is your business. That's it. She didn't cheat on you. We're good.
Sophia, she looked at other men.
She was thinking
She
about
was
other men before she met
Holding
me.
their hands.
Ugh.
Sometimes a smooch.
Disgusting. I was already pissed when my sister-in-law told me, and when my wife ignored me and went on a screaming match, I got even more pissed. When I got wasted, I couldn't control myself. You suck. I said to my wife that she should have told me before. Should she have? Because apparently you're going to react like a little baby.
I don't know. Maybe be curious enough to ask about
Yeah.
your wife.
I don't know. I feel like
That's like
if you
weird.
wanted to ask, you could have been like, hey, can we talk about, like, you know, what were
And
your
what does
past
it
relationships like?
matter?
Also, it
Ugh.
doesn't matter. Some man or many men might have my wife's spicy pics and she never said a word.
I doubt any of them have them.
Okay, so for one, be really weird if they still kept
That'd be
your wife's
so
spicy pics.
weird.
Hopefully, if they are any sort of decent, they deleted them. Two, if they send them around, it's illegal.
It's very
It's
illegal.
it's illegal. Can't do that. So, I don't know what you want here, buddy. She said she wanted to forget about it all and that it's been so many years. Nobody cares anymore. I said that both sisters were the same and that they both just love D. You suck. You
Yeah,
literally suck,
She doesn't
dude.
like yours anymore.
I'm sorry, we're comparing your wife's sister who cheated on her husband to your wife who had relationships before you.
And has been loyal to you.
I told her I wanted a divorce ASAP, which I still regret saying. My wife started crying and left while I was drinking. You literally suck. My wife came back after 10 minutes or so. She said she was sorry for not telling me. She called her sister because she exposed her past, which doesn't matter anymore. And now she's ruining her life by exposing her cheating, which was the right thing to do. She said she's sorry and that I drank too much and should sleep. She took me to bed without dinner, and we just fell asleep and cried. By the way, you can fall asleep listening to the dulcet tones of full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We are getting to almost the end of this story, and I cannot wait to see the comments because I hope they are tearing you apart.
Ripping you to shreds.
Yeah, 'cause
like you deserve, you little insecure man.
Truly, I hope you guys get divorced because you don't deserve this lady.
Do her justice.
Yeah.
Like, leave for her benefit.
Yeah.
Please.
The next day, I apologized to her. She said it wasn't necessary because I was wasted and angry. Since then, I regret what I said to my wife, and our marriage is not the same. Yeah, because you ruined it. It's awkward, and I have my own feelings. I am very hurt that my wife was someone like this. After the way my wife reacted, I know she loves me, but I can't get over this. I am wondering if I am the a-hole, yes, for wanting to divorce my wife, or if I should give a second chance to my marriage. I am losing my mind over this drama and the revelation. I have started drinking to cope with it. Oh. Boy.
Boy, oh boy. That's fully on you, dude.
There are comments. Oh boy. Let's get into them.
Comments, please save my hope in humanity.
Comment 1. Were you a virgin at the time of your marriage? Or did you ask your wife before marriage that you are only interested in women who haven't slept with anyone before marriage and she lied to you? How can you divorce your wife over something she did before marriage? She didn't cheat with you. If anything, she took a stand against cheating. And here you are saying, my sister-in-law won't lie to me because we're close. Are you closer to her than her husband whom she cheated on? Your wife deserves much, much, much better than a husband like you. Yes.
Yes.
Love that comment.
Yes.
Yes. You suck, OP. You're the a-hole.
You suck. You're
I don't
the
like you.
a-hole. Your wife's sister's the a-hole. Your wife sounds lovely.
Yeah. Maybe
I like
has
her.
some sort of like anger to work through in therapy. But other than that,
Lovely.
lovely. But that's the end of that story, folks.
My husband attempted to cheat with me.
Do you like pina coladas? Getting caught in the rain.
And this comes directly from our subreddit.
Whoa.
And we do have a trigger warning for verbal mistreatment. I met my husband, let's call him Michael, when I was in my early 20s. I say that was why I thought he was the best person I had ever met and agreed to marry him 9 days after we met.
OP.
Is one of us.
Nah, I don't care. Nah, that's crazy. Don't do that. Never do that ever again. Now you know.
Now you know.
By the way, this comes from Infinite Magazine 152, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, he came on strong. He came from a nice family that my mom knew for many years. And I had never had someone send me a dozen red roses to my job the day after we met before. I was young, naive, and thought I had met the love of my life. Within a few months, we moved in together and were married just over a year after we met. I got pregnant with my oldest son just before our wedding date. Fast forward to after the wedding date, while standing outside the double doors of the church before they opened for me to walk down the aisle, I told my cousin that I didn't want to do this. To the birth of my oldest, now almost 29,
Whoa.
he was born early, had trouble breathing, and spent the first 8 days of his life in the ICU.
Hey, that's long enough for that baby to get married. Almost.
Like, I've been here 8 days. I like it.
I met a really nice
Nurse.
No, another baby.
Oh.
The baby's gotta get married to a baby.
You're right, you're right,
Yeah.
you're right.
In club baby.
Inklo baby, I saw the most beautiful baby
OP's
across
baby was
the
like
milk bar. Uns.
That's that's what
right
they
on
do in
over
the
to the other
NICU.
baby.
Yeah.
He unsed his way over.
Yeah, what brought you here? My
I'm
lungs
premature.
don't be working so well.
I'm a premature baby. Premature baby. I was out too early. I'm a premature baby. I'm a baby. I don't really have to hurry.
We're working on that one. We got the Cajun alligator, German alligator. Yeah.
He got a tracheostomy on Christmas Eve and at 2 years old went on a ventilator full time.
gosh.
Wow. I should have known when I didn't want to get married standing in the church, but I did it anyway. I should have known it was a mistake when my best friend, let's call her Danny, drove me to the hospital when I was in labor a month and a half early,
Whoa.
but I didn't. He had so many doctor's appointments and hospital stays, and the first time I did CPR on him, he was 6 months
Oh my
old.
god. Wow. That's so hard.
They're all heavy ones today, folks.
Well, I mean, the good news that we know is that this kid is now 29.
yes.
So,
Yes. He had nurses to help take care of him at home. Most of them were amazing. I couldn't have asked for better, but not all of them. I was pregnant with my second son and going into labor 2 months early. You want to guess who drove me to the hospital this time? My mom. My husband decided to stay home with the nurse instead of taking his very pregnant and scared wife to the hospital. Yep, you guessed it. He was trying to sleep with her.
yikes.
Not really sure if he did or not, but I later learned he was trying. At least that was what she told me. Again, I should have gotten the hint, but I didn't. About 2 years later, I thought Michael was cheating on me. At this time, I had never caught him. I didn't know that he had been hitting on, at the bare minimum, the nurse who was taking care of my son. He always made it out like I was crazy, paranoid, and he was an angel, being accused of things he just wasn't doing. Never mind the conversations I found in a private chat with someone I had considered one of my best friends, talking about a threesome.
Hey.
He said that it wasn't cheating, that if I agreed to it, I would be there too, so he wasn't cheating.
He's like, actually, you just need to sign right here, and then it's not cheating. Like, right now, yes,
babe,
it would be.
It was 3, but we could make it 4.
Yeah.
There's room.
There's room. Don't worry. Like, right now, yes, could be seen as cheating. But if you say yes to this once-in-a-lifetime deal, it's
Sign
not
on that
cheating.
line right
Just sign
there.
right there. Thank you.
Right there. And an initial on the next
Yeah.
page.
There's 3 initials.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Don't miss the third.
It's right there.
I didn't agree. I should have left again, but I didn't. At this point, it wasn't because I loved him, but I was scared to have the responsibility of my oldest son on my own. It was a lot to take care of him. At this point, we had to do CPR on him 4 to 5 times,
Wow.
and I was afraid to be alone with him. I couldn't stand the doubts any longer. I knew I wasn't crazy, and that if given the chance, he would absolutely cheat on me if he hadn't already. But I knew I needed undeniable proof. Something he couldn't say was all in my mind, something I was making up. During this time, he had become verbally harmful. He called me every name he could think of. I had enough, but still stayed. I was scared to leave. He controlled all the money. I had no job, and with all the medical care my son needed, it was hard for me to keep one. I finally made up my mind that I needed proof. I had a webpage for my son with both of our emails listed that we could receive messages. A girl named Jennifer was writing to Michael. He didn't know that I knew about it. She was the female version of him, exactly his dream girl, down to the perfect figure and hair color that he liked. He couldn't have made her any more perfect if he tried. He set up to meet her one afternoon when he had his kids from a previous marriage. I called his ex-wife and asked her if she would call him and ask him to take the kids home early that day.
Wait, he had an ex-wife?
I guess.
How old is he?
I don't know.
Because you're in your early 20s when he asked you to marry him. If he already had an ex-wife,
With kids.
was he a lot older than you?
I might guess that. And she was more than agreeable. Her parents were visiting and they wanted to see the kids. So she was on board. He was taking them home early, changed his email password so I couldn't get into it anymore, changed the meeting spot and time he was meeting Jennifer, and thought he was in the clear to set his meeting with the angel that was sent from heaven just for him. His words, not mine.
Why is this beautiful woman going on a date with him?
Yeah. That day, I pulled my huge van in behind my little car that he was using to meet with his perfect woman. He was inside the store getting a drink. And when he came out, he never noticed that I was blocking him in.
Nice.
After he got in and looked in the rearview mirror, he saw my huge van. He got out and came to my door. I rolled down my window and smiled so sweetly at him while he asked me what I was doing there. Still glancing around for Jennifer, I sweetly told him, she's not coming.
I don't know why I thought Jennifer was a real person, but I'm now realizing that OP made her up.
I also thought Jennifer was a real person.
Yeah, I thought you were like, yeah, there was this. Okay,
No,
yeah,
she's
it's
been
fake,
Jennifer, I
fake
think.
woman.
Yes.
Fake
I'm up
woman.
to speed now.
And that's why she was interested in OP's husband, because
yes.
she was fake.
I understand now. The look on his face was priceless. He, of course, replied with the normal, I don't know what you're talking about. Again, I smiled and said, she's not coming, making sure to say each word slowly so he got the message. He again tried to say he didn't know what I was talking about. So I semi-politely reached for the paper on my passenger seat, shoved the printed email he had sent to Jennifer, changing the time and place into his chest, and said, Jennifer, she's not coming. I'm Jennifer. He thought that I was in his email and that was how I knew about her. Not that I was her. He thought I would show up at the old meeting place and time and he wouldn't be there. He thought he was going to get away with it again. It was the only time I ever saw him speechless. Even in front of the judge that granted me a 2-year protective order, he wasn't speechless. By the way, you guys can listen to more episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and search up Storytime. Wow.
Well, it seems like you have a protective order and didn't stay with him very long. It
Yeah.
seems like it was like maybe a couple of years.
And
at
I'm
the
sure
most.
you remember every bit of his face looking shocked.
Yep, and
Good for
that's
you.
satisfying.
You did it.
Yeah,
You got out of there.
yeah, and it seems like you have not made that mistake
No.
again.
We
so we're
actually
good.
have lovely confirmation
Yay!
that she is now remarried
Oh,
and
well,
have been
lovely.
with this man for over 20 years.
Incredible. Sometimes we make some mistakes when we're young,
Oh.
and I love that you've found happiness in your life after that.
It gets better.
Gets better.
It gets better. He adopted my oldest son, our son's request,
Aw.
after he turned 18 and didn't have to have permission to do it from the ex.
Aw.
I have 2 reasons that I will never say I wish I would have walked away from the church that day,
Aw.
and they are my sons.
No.
I always say it was my dress rehearsal, and now I know what to look for and not to look for.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes, I mean, like, you never want to go through those really hard things in your life, but
Yeah.
if you do, you want to make sure that you pay attention to what you've learned from them. And it seems like you did.
I should be thankful for the life lessons that he taught me, but I think there should have been a better way to learn those. I'm just grateful that I found the man I'm married to now and the family that we have. That's the end of that
Lovely.
story.